Hey, welcome to another Terra Talks. I'm joined by the absolutely famous, infamous, cursing and swearing Jermaine Chavis. How are you, mate?
I'm doing okay, just chilling.
The weather looks nice with you.
Yeah, it been rain where I'm at, and I don't put public where I'm at because I got enemies out
Yeah. I wouldn't ask you. I wouldn't.
there. But yeah, where I'm at, it been raining for 3 days, so we just now get sun.
You know, it's kind of weird. We've had the kind of same here. We've had 2-3 days and major flooding here. And much like you, we've had the stars out. As you can see, the stars are out.
Yeah.
You like
I like your view.
Hey,
you about 300 miles up?
hey, it's the only place to see everything that's going on, you know.
See that flat earthers? It's curved. You gotta go high enough.
There you go. There. It's now busted. It's now debunked. Just me and you debunked it in the first couple of minutes.
Right.
Let's shoot the shit. Ego is something that's pretty massive, not just in the unawakened community, but you know it captures us all out at times. With recent posts about it. Tell us about it.
Well, we got to learn how to check our own ego because the ego is masculine. That's what like for men, it's harder for men. The women, they already tapped into the higher dimension. Yeah. Like the fourth density energy that's coming in is feminine. Yeah. So all the women are being empowered. So, but the men, we got to deal with our fears and ego. That's more of a challenge to us because we're not tapped in to our higher self. Yeah, like women are naturally are because they are feminine and the planet is feminine. Yeah. So it's like a resonance. And right now, the resonance of the feminine energy is so high in the women that's operating in their feminine and not the feminists who keep falling into masculine. They're not balanced, they in chaos. They being empowered. So it's like a signal when you try to hit a resonance frequency of a wave or something, you can pump energy and increase the amplitude, increase the power at that resonance frequency. So that's
that's what the rise, aren't you? In that divine feminine. It's incredible to see. In fact, it's actually shameful. Being a dude that I've been in the protests here, and 75-80% are women. Not just women, mother bears. They call them that. You don't fuck with them.
Right, they pissed now. They are pissed.
Yeah. And to see that kind of warrior spirit is phenomenal. But you're right. We as men we've got a lot of shit to deal with.
Yeah, we got to deal with our fears. So a lot of men. That's why you got a lot of men like these beta males that's cowardly.
Yeah.
And so that's because they're not learning how to. They're not learning how to put the ego in check.
Yeah.
Because putting your ego in check is learning how to conquer your fears, because your fears powers your ego.
Yeah. Do you think as well that you know yourself? I mean, I need to ask you, how long have you kind of been awakened? When was your awakening?
Okay. I've been awake since I was 16. My brother, he was the one that woke me up when he was in Job Corps. I think he was like 18 or 19. But so this was doing when I was 16. That was doing 9/11. So what? That's when I woke up. I think I woke up around the time in that September of 9/11 because my brother, I think during 9/11, my brother was like, "Well, do you believe what you see on the news? Do you how you know that's real? Are you there to observe it?" My brother was telling me that. And so after that, I used to flip a coin every time I watched the news meter to say, is this real or not? Because I was all like, he really opened me up to that. Yeah. I never thought about the media lying. Right. I was a fool like a lot of people are now. I used to be a fool too and believing. I used to watch CNN for years on end, watching all their programs. I used to like Anderson Cooper and all this. Yeah. We got attached to them. I was half asleep in that shit. And my brother got me out of there. Yeah. And And when I woke up, it was just, I started finding all this stuff. And then I got to a point, I think, I don't know what age this was, but it was like 2 years. I was angry at humanity. I used to hate humanity, you know, for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So like people who getting frustrated by these people asleep, I didn't have no contact with people. I was mad. I used to get in arguments with my family members because they not awake. They wasn't awake. I was the only one in the family. So I'm like the black sheep of the family. So I used to deal with ridicule, rejection. That's why, like, I'm single because I'm complicated.
Yeah. No, I get you.
A lot of women that be coming to my life, they trying to control me and manipulate.
Yeah, they want that change, don't they? I can mold them. I can mold them into what I want. Yeah.
And I'm not a person that you just, somebody gonna come in, I don't care who it is. Like the women, they be like, a lot of women come in my life trying to manipulate me and control me, you know. Like if I talk to a girl, I can't be talking to her too nice because they're gonna be, a lot of them be trying to fall in love with me and try to marry me and all this stuff. Like, and I don't even believe in marriage because
I know you don't.
I know it's other options. It ain't just And I think it might depend on the ET group, because I've been told and multiple about people randomly approaching me over the years that I was Lyran, I was Syrian feline,
right?
I was involved in planetary evacuations,
right?
At Lyra,
right?
I was in Atlantis, and I was involved in negotiating with ET groups. Wow. So I don't have no memories of these. I got random people who coming to me, like from the Scotia community, who got abilities telling me this, or have memories of me being in a life with them that I have no memories of. It's completely turned off for now.
Yeah.
So when I woke up, I think around 2009, I came across David Will, Alex Carr.
Yeah.
And I started learning about disclosure. And then I came across Michael Salla.
Yeah.
And then I learned about the Navy space fleet. Because during that time in 2009, Michael Salla was out there having lectures talking about the Navy was trying to do disclosure, and they was trying to tag Obama to be the disclosure president.
Yeah.
So the timeline might have, like, we've been dealing with Mandela. There's so much stuff going on, but the timeline might have shifted from when they was trying to do Obama. It might have shifted in some other timeline. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great shout, actually. I don't think it's something that's ever kind of openly spoken about, is it? You know, that, you know, these timeline shifts, and you know, it could have been, you know, and then it shifted. You know, a lot of people, you know, the theories are like, and CERN is a big, massive one, that when they turned that, you know, the huge collider on, that, you know, some event happened, but, you know, they'd already a possible hologram, you know, replacement ready. So that's what we've kind of been living in since they turned that on. And there's other theories that, you know, these, you know, planets exploded, you know, so many times, but, you know, we're already, and that's why the Mandela effects affect people, is because you've actually jumped into the kind of alternative dimension that was actually quite close to the one that we were already in, and that's why people have got some different memories. So there's a possibility all this could be true, you know, and that's
conscious expansion. Expand your conscious. So we could be dealing with a situation where we got refugees from another timeline, or we went to some of us might have went to a timeline, because people got different memories of the past.
Yeah.
So it's real, and it's in the millions.
Oh, without a doubt. See, my ones are quite benign. You know, like the kind of Mandela effects are like, when my kids were young, we were quite big soccer fans, you know, football fans, and we would argue over players. And there was, say I have a dozen players, and I remember I'm playing for Brazil. Absolutely, I remember I'm playing for Brazil. And my son would say to me, no, he's Spanish. And you're really arguing about this, you know, benign shite. And he would go on, and he would go to his, like, you know, his website, and he's going, no, he's Spanish. And I'm trying to look for I seen him play for Brazil. And so, but then you hear other people's Mandela effects, like really major ones, and I'm going, mine are shite. You know, mine
Right.
are really shite because mine is about football. So I'm really quite disappointed in my Mandela effects, actually, which you know is disappointing.
Right. Yeah, the Mandela effects are real. Like Ben and Rob, it basically helped the world understand that whole concept with they specials they've been doing on the Mandela effect. And I'm really good friends with Ben and Rob too.
Yeah.
Because we also became friends at ECETI.
Yeah.
Along with Tyler, Aaron.
Yeah.
Like I said, I became friends with Corey Good at that point at ECETI. So it was a lot of people I became friends with. A lot of good friends I still got now.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I ask you something? There's I don't know if you've seen it. There was a Mark Wahlberg movie released called Infinite. I don't know if you've seen it. And it's about two groups, kind of light and dark. And one's trying to save humanity, and it's getting people to remember their past lives. And if something comes to you naturally, it's because you were that in previous lives. Your sword skills, they come quite naturally. Now, granted, you and I both have similar tastes in swords, as you know. We've both spoken or messaged about the kind of this, but you know, I've not went as far as you have. But you know, it's something you do train. You keep in top of, but you find that comes to you quite naturally.
Oh, and it's fun. Like I like doing it.
Yeah.
I think that might be relate, like you were saying the movie, say if you naturally already had experience, that might be what that is. It might be related to fun, the natural. You have a natural feel, like it's exciting.
Yeah.
And I like how I train myself, because I train myself by myself. I ain't got no master.
No, I'm the same.
I sit there, I use my imagination a lot. Like I imagine fighting 3 opponents and try to understand like the physics, understand the physics of the fight. Like if I'm, fight here and I deflect off of him, how long it's gonna take for him to strike and how fast I gotta move my hand. So I be applying, because I got an intuition in physics, so I apply physics in my fighting style.
Yeah. See, I kind of like that way of doing things as well. It's the way I train for the martial arts. I've done the whole kind of club thing. It's not that I had a problem with authority. I wouldn't say that, but I found it very rigid. But when you do these things yourself, that you do, your imagination comes in and you can think.
Yeah, when you getting trained by a master, you got to follow strict rules. You can't have no freedom. I can do what the fuck I want, and I can make my own fighting styles. I made my own fighting style. I got my own fighting form. I train in multiple fighting forms at different speeds. Different. Either swinging widely, swinging closely. Like when you want to swing, when you blocking, you got to be close to protect yourself. And it's about distance and how fast you move, because how fast your opponent move. Like when you look at math, when they got simultaneous equation, that's like when you connect. When you're trying to block, that's the equation. They're both equal, so that'll be that in a fight. So I use that in my fight, and I'll be doing like changing my fighting form at different speeds and motions. And
so there's no restrictions. There's no limitation to what you're doing.
No.
You're
doing it wrong.
Fluent.
Like the master say, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing it right. No, like Bruce Lee said, he said, take what works for you and discard the rest. And that's what I do. Like I practice his fighting style, his Jeet Kune Do. I practice that myself.
It's the only one I mean, when I discovered him as a philosopher in about 2010, and it absolutely changed my life. It was him that led me to Taoism, to Alan Watts, to Joseph Campbell, to all these great. And for the martial artist, he should be taught in the same breath as these philosophers as well. I mean, I would say, Marcus Aurelius and all these people, his name should be up there. And you're right, he talks about, if you need to take something from somebody you admire, take it, but then you make it your own. You put your own unique style on it. And his whole Jeet Kune Do is made. He recognized that not everybody's the same size. So what was it he said? He would he would rather fear the person that can do one kick correctly 1,000 times rather than the guy that can do 1,000 different kicks and that are not correct. So yeah, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you all the way with him. I'm glad you touched on the maths and physics, because I've seen some of your posts, and I'm really trying. I'm not going to go at flat earthers here. I'm really not. You know, they can believe what they want. I wish they were more open. You know, debate. Don't think they're capable of it. But I remember a post a while ago, and it just flowed for you. And the way you were talking about inertia, you were talking about physics, you were talking about all these different things. These flat earthers never had an answer. Is it something that came naturally to you as well as these physics and maths?
What you say again? Because you cutting out. What you say?
Physics and maths, is that another thing you found came quite naturally to you?
Oh, not the math part. Like when I was young, because like my math, like I'm actually not that strong in math, because I think it because I'm more right brain. Like I'm not. To be good at math, you gotta be really good at your left.
Yeah, you need the left.
So I got a lot more right brain than my left brain. It's like it's slightly more on my right brain.
Yeah.
Which means I got a lot of feminine energy I tap into.
Yeah.
So math, I used to just carry a calculator around because I couldn't do arithmetic in my head.
Yeah.
Like you know, like the savants, I can't do big numbers in my head, but I can solve equations and do logic and abstract thinking. Yeah. So math, actually didn't take math serious until I was 15 when I came across my first physics book.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what the hell I was reading. It was like reading Chinese or something. Or Japanese. I didn't know what I was doing. I found out I had to learn math that I avoided all those years. Right. So I actually had to take a couple of years of just studying math most of the time.
Right.
Before I even got to, I think around 17, 18, I got around to trying to use physics.
Yeah.
And I think I used it around that time. I can't remember because I'm 36 years old. That's a long time now. And a lot of shit been happening. But
I've got 11 years on you. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Right. So I sit there, I think around 18, 19, I think I did the calculation for 9/11, trying to find the temperature of the jet fuel. Right. Depending on the kinetic energy, because it's moving, it got kinetic energy. And then the fuel, the energy that comes out when the fuel combusts, which is like, it's basically stored energy in the bonds and then it release. So I calculated all that and put those calculations in and found out that the temperature was nowhere near the 2000 degrees. Oh, I don't get off the top of my head, but whatever the temperatures, the melting steel, it was like 600 degrees, like an oven or something. So I would say, this is bullshit. They lying.
Yeah.
And then when I learned more physics, I studied aerodynamics. And I found out the planes can't go that fast, that low to the ground because of the air density, the drag.
Yeah.
The air drag on the plane. And so many other factors that involve flying that I realized that they lying. The Fisher story is for shit.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm more impressed with, really, is that you were that honest to admit about the maths, right? And then, you know, you talked about learning at 17. And first major thing that you tackle is, you know, calculating the fuel, and I'm sitting here going, yep, no, they don't. Doesn't sound like you've got a math problem, like. You know, I was 23, 24 before I really started to understand maths for the job that I'd chosen. You know, I wasn't great at school. It was more the class clown than it was anything else. It wasn't that I wasn't, let's say, intelligent enough, but I found I struggled, and that's something I want to come on with is, you know, that was insane. I've never had what you constantly deal with. You know, please explain to people Archons, please, because that was insane.
I can't hear you. What you say? They not yet.
Can you explain your experience with the Archons?
I can't hear you.
Still not hear me?
I hear you now. You were knocked out. Yeah, they still attacking.
Yeah, I've never had
doing an interview with me. You got to deal with Archons too. Yeah, that's how it
Please
goes.
tell about your experiences, because I've never had that in my life. Not like that.
Going back to 2010, I came across the Archons. Okay.
Right.
The other part of the interview is saved, right?
Yeah,
that's
recorded.
You're just gonna edit it together, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, 2010, I came across the Archon.
Yeah.
When I first came across them, the weird thing that started happening, I had this one experience, and I was in Missouri.
Yeah.
I stay in Missouri, and it was some cats next door. My mother had a house. It was a cats next door. So every time I stepped out there, I never had to deal with no fleas attacking me. But one day I had to deal with fleas attacking me, and they were always attacking. Then they got into the house and stuff. Right. And I thought there was something wrong with the dog. And I watched the dog, and the flea problem was still there. Then as quickly as it was there, it disappeared.
Right.
And then I had one experience that I almost got in a car accident. Never all these years until that point after I came across this Archon information, I got it. It was a minor accident where the trunk came up on my friend was driving the car and smacked the window, and he couldn't see on the highway because he was moving, so the wind was pushing it to the window. So he had to get off the highway and slow down to make it go back down. So that's when I realized years after that started happening, that they was attacking, trying to attack my timeline. When I finally, it took me a lot of years to find out, because we don't got the right explanation of how time works and stuff like that. So then 2017, because I had a Facebook account for since 2011, had a Facebook account. But in 2017, July of 2017, it was erased. 6 years of activity was just completely erased. Right. And everybody was shocked that knew me, because they said they never deleted anybody's whole account before. Yeah. So, and and I know what caused it, because I was looking at Corey Good Cosmic Disclosure episode about the AI threat. And I broke it down. I was doing commentary, and I was saying, well, the AI and the Archons are the same thing. And after that next day, they deleted my Facebook account. And I was talking to somebody, because I was at work. I was working at Checkers. Yeah. And they was calling me. One of my Facebook friends calling me, telling me, I'm trying to tag you, son. I can't find your account. I can't see your name. And then other people would tell me, and the message you've been sending me is, because then the message they were sending me, the message said, this account is guilty of doing spam and stuff. But what I found out, they was deleting my account throughout that whole day, everywhere. They was erasing it all over from Facebook, because everybody Messenger had weird stuff in there where they say this account is guilty of doing spam. Yeah. So, and I had one experience when I used to live in Detroit, where a phone I had a lot of pictures up there of a lot of good information and some stuff I recorded and stuff like that. I was on a walk, and I put it in my back pocket. I checked before I left, but when I came back and I checked my pocket, the phone was gone. But and I didn't hear it drop out my pocket or nothing. It just vanished. Fuck. And I was like, what? So that's when I learned after all that stuff started happening that they was attacking my time. They was somehow, because the Archons on fourth density, which is time, space, they somehow influence third density from that level. Right, okay.
It's the unseen world, isn't it? So, I tell you what thingied me with regards to
that, in 2017, that's when I know that they was attacking me.
Right. And it's that unseen world, isn't it? It's when I awakened, mine was a slow process, probably about 2012, and then majorly 2015, and that was when my mother died, and I went on this kind of downward spiral, and then I started looking at the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Egyptian Book of the Dead, Robert Monroe at the Monroe Institute, because I wanted to communicate with her, So I started falling into all these kind of things, and then you start experiences.
I hear nothing you say, so I hope that's recorded, because I hear nothing you say that it'll catch you up.
Mate, I've never experienced I know you get this all the time, mate. And to be doing this with you just now and experience it, it's the hairs in the back of my neck are standing up.
You can't even do a proper interview with me.
No, it's crazy. Have you ever? Here's a question for you: have you ever seen one? You know,
No, I ain't got
Archon?
I ain't got no Jedi powers. I'm not force sensitive yet.
Yeah.
So I got friends that I got one friend that's in London that can see
Right.
Archon. Yeah, they told me they can see Archon. I ain't got no abilities though.
No, I
think I wanted a positive third time.
Right.
Tapping in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had the old kind of, the shadow kind of beings, kind of standing over me when I'm lying in the bed. And, and I can have remote view spontaneously.
Oh, I knew people that can see shadow beings too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that unseen world, when you start to see or experience it, the dark night of the soul is not sitting in a lotus position. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're going a lot of editing you're gonna have to do.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, that's
look, toward the end of the other recording, I said the Archons are attacking, so that should be up there.
Mate, I've never, honestly, God, I've so much, I've got so much respect for you anyway, but to actually experience what you kind deal with is, my mind is blown. It really is. I'm looking over at the dog just now, and she's kind of looking and going, "Why are you cursing and swearing?" As if she can talk to me. Let's just fire on. Passion, disclosure. You're now part of something Tyler set up for next year, Secret Space Conference. You must be ecstatic about doing that.
Well, like the light workers talk about intent.
Yeah,
I'm not really like my intention is to make sure we win the war before then. So I'm not really focused on it like that. I'm just focused on winning the war before then, because my intention is I want to have ETs in the audience, but they're not disguised and hiding like they've been going to all conferences. They're there, and the humanity knows they're there. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for at that conference.
Yeah,
there's ETs in the audience. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting that answer, and I kind of, I really, no, I like it. I like it a lot. It must be close with even with the UAP report. For what it was, what we expect, it was meant to be June. It got delayed, came out in July.
Well,
you think it was slow
when that report?
What's your feelings on it?
Well, that report, it did actually I think it's, if you look at the Q, if you think of the Q operation as doing disclosure now, that's what I've been saying on my lives. I've been saying that the Q group, which is Earth Alliance, is doing disclosure, and that's what they're doing. So when that report came out, I did track on Twitter and all that a lot of people that was not at our level of consciousness was actually interested in UFOs. Gamers on YouTube, and people talk about movies on YouTube. Just put all the pieces together.
Yeah, absolutely. This is insane.
And just tell them that the whole thing was being fucked up by the Archons. But
I mean, there's some bits I'm going to leave in because I've never ever had anything like this in my entire, but that's not saying that we silly things that maybe go missing in the house, or issues that they don't fuck with me, but to have it like this,
knowing
that they fuck with you?
Oh, they fuck with me a lot.
When did we start this? 10 o'clock, and we've got maybe 15, 20 minutes recorded. Oh, no, they're at it again. You there?
Oh, you back?
Yeah, we're back. We're back. Yeah, right. Fly right into it. So we're talking about the UAP report.
Yeah.
Right. What was your thoughts on that? And then you got to about the Q group, the Earth Alliance, and you think that that they're now gonna deal with that disclosure element.
Yeah. The Q group is doing disclosure. That's what's happening. So they doing it like they did the Q drop. They focus on the people that's asleep.
Yeah.
Like the Q group, which is Earth Alliance, and which what Elena is saying, also Alex Carter been saying this, that basically ET's been helping the Navy, but Alex Carter didn't tell us it was a Galactic Federation. Elena and Megan is telling us it's Galactic Federation.
Yeah.
So they are behind the creation of Earthlands, and it makes sense because a Palladian Navy visited William Thompson. Well, the Palladians don't have their own Navy. They connected to the Galactic Federation Navy.
Ah, right.
So and like I want to sit there and address this with Corey Good. Like he's saying that Megan and Elena are fake, but he not making no sense what he's saying, and he's contradicting his old testimony. Yeah. He used to say in one of his Cobb's Coach episodes, he said the Galactic Federation was protecting the solar system because the spheres was leaving and the barrier was going down. They was disappearing, and he said the Galactic Federation fleet was protecting.
Yeah.
Alex Collier today said, this is the final move we in. He said that the cabal has convinced themselves that they're going to win, that they are being brazen now. That's what they're doing in Australia. And in Australia, they targeting the will and the Jedi powers. Yeah. You could say, you want to simplify Jedi powers. That's what they're doing. They're trying to stop the will of humanity, but we all give up. And they're trying to take the psychic powers away, or the Jedi powers away. Yeah. That's why, because that in Australia, that Uru rock, the Ayers rock, that's the I think that's called a sacral chakra with the wheel. Which one of the chakras they got the wheel?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's targeting the chakra that deal with willpower. That's why all these people ain't got the willpower to take the fucking mask off. And that's over billions.
Do you know, and something you mentioned there, they're throwing other matters, right? We all know about Agenda 21, we all know about Agenda 2030, right? We all know about this, right? But that was all because these fuckers are patient, right? These fuckers are patient. They play the long game. They're not playing the long game anymore. They are brazen. They're throwing everything in the sense it's won at all costs now. You know, it's won at all costs. I've tagged you in anytime there's any kind of report of UFOs here in UK. You know, I usually post it. I'll tag you and Tyler in just to give you a view from the UK point of view, right? And it's now weekly. You know, even some of the tabloids are doing something daily now, right? There's people out there doing CE5s, right? That's being covered in the mainstream media, right? So whatever's building is building, right? And they're throwing fucking everything at us. So this isn't they're not playing this 10-year game. They're trying to squeeze every dark plan into here because they're trying to stop this mass awakening. And they must be shiting themselves to see that divine
this is
feminine.
the mass awakening. The gradient of the mass awakening is like this.
Yeah.
They are falling down the hill while we speeding up. Yeah. They can't catch us no more. No. So they trying to push out everything. They try to kill the 6 billion as fast as possible with the fucking poison. Yeah. With the jabs, because I know you putting this on YouTube, so I got to go around the Archon censorship. So with the jabs,
listen, we weren't even talking about this, and we were getting attacked. So for fuck's sake, mate.
They trying to murder 6 billion people before we meet the ETs. People, that's what you need to understand. All the sleeping people out there, they trying to murder you all before we meet the ETs, because we about to be inducted into the Galactic Federation. Corey Good on some bullshit because he compromised by the AI or he's fell to the dark side. It's simple as that.
I mean, you can even see from a cabal point of view, right? Now look at Mark Zuckerberg's latest you know, venture, the metaverse or whatever it is. And you know, we all know that's part of the Great Reset. But if you kind of view it to a point of that Star Trek future, right? Even all that, and even I'm not going to eat no synthetic beef anyway, right? But see all that stuff that's out there with them as well. That's all part of that. You know, they want to control that, but it's also it's all part of that kind of disclosure, but that kind of AI, that transhumanism. That, you know, granted that's a negative timeline, but that timeline still is that tech, you know, element. So it's in the mainstream. If you wanted, I fucking hate doing that, right? But you know what I mean. You've got to kind of do that, you know. But it's there. You know, you don't need to do the research heavily when there's headlines and people's, especially, I don't know what it's like in the US, mate, but people's favorite newspapers. But we know folk will only believe if it's on CNN. Here, folk will still quote the BBC. And I'm going, the BBC that covered up Jimmy Savile, 40 fucking years. They remember Building 7? They said Building 7 announced before it even collapsed. These lying motherfuckers, they cabal trash. I remember pointing at the telly. Yeah, right. I remember pointing at the telly and going, it's fucking behind. It was like a pantomime. It's behind you. You know? So, but I don't know if that's cognitive dissonance. I don't know what that is. Right? But everybody quotes, well, if it's not in the BBC, I don't believe it. See, in this country, we're meant to pay a BBC license, right, to watch, but it's only to watch if you download BBC iPlayer, you watch BBC, right? So I've got a letter through the door, right, to say that the inspectors are coming to the house. Let's bring them on. Bring the inspectors to the house. I will show them. And if they ask me, why did you stop paying your BBC license? I say, well, one, I don't fucking watch it because of 9/11, Jimmy Savile, and another thing. I'm not fucking funding pedophilia. That shuts them up. Right. It just shuts them up. Exactly. Right. So they're in trouble. Oh, big style. And because if you take Elena Denon's, well, it's not even Elena Denon, it's actually Megan Rose. Yeah. Her latest update. And that's another problem for Corey Good. Michael Sala is supporting all three, even Alex. He's out here making videos, even including Alex. He didn't used to do that. No, he did not used to take contact these serious. That's why Corey is totally abandoned now. The Disclosure community has abandoned him, and it's only the UFO community that's still looking at the Roswell documents and stuff. Yeah. So, but the Disclosure community has moved on, left the UFO community behind, and that UFO community is just the ones that's supporting Corey now because they the one think it's gonna take a long time. Yeah. Because Alex Collier said in his latest webinar that when this is, we are in a final move, when this move is made, all this technology that's gonna come out of nowhere, it's gonna go so fast. Yeah. Because what we know from the Galactic Prime Directive, since humanity is threatened with extinction by this evil race that's been up here. We've been enslaving us for tens of thousands of years since Atlantis, so probably even longer. Yeah. Because I have read in the Cassiopeia information that the Orion group stuck us in a 74,000 year time loop. All right. So yeah. So, and I think this occurred like 200,000 years ago. But so we basically coming out of that time loop. That's probably what the Temple War might be about. Yeah, but Elena Denon, when she was given this Galactic Prime Directive that I ain't never seen in any contactee information, no books, none of that stuff in the past. I never read that in this Galactic Prime Directive. This is new to the planet. Right. This is how much Corey Good is in the dust with what he's talking about. This Prime Directive is real because it explains why the Orion group did what they did when they made the treaty with the Air Force at MJ-12. Yeah. It explains it. And it says, since we are being threatened with extinction, the Galactic Federation will make contact and do, which is disclosure, which means it's going to be legal because the Galactic Federation is like on 5th density, but they got technology going to 6th density. Yeah. So it's going to be legal around the galaxy to come here. So like James Gillian has been saying, which is
Another thing, James Gideon support Elena, Megan, and Alex.
Yeah.
Corey has been abandoned, okay? Completely isolated into the UFO community that's coming into his net, whatever, or cult, or whatever the fuck he's doing. But like I said, that means that all these ships gonna start showing up like James Gideon been saying. So, like I said, I mean, I just had to put that out because he pissing me off.
I would have never have guessed. I would have never have guessed. But yeah, we've seen ourselves, the images that we're seeing now being reported daily all over the world. There was one today or yesterday, about 40 miles from here, that people were doing, I mentioned earlier, the CE5 event. So they were all out. Say they call it Scotland's Bermuda Triangle. And to be honest, you could put the whole of Scotland on that because we're all quite a weird race anyway. But so they put lights, you know, in the sky as you're doing these CA5 events, and they put a torch up, and it's on the underside of a ship. I'll send you the report, and you want to see the image. I mean, at first glance, you've got to look at it 2 or 3 times. You've got to go, that really looks underside of a ship. This is insane. And it's like, you know, like last night or the night before, which is literally like as a crow flies, is about 40 miles from here. I'm going, why the fuck am I not getting that? You know, but it's happening. You know, you're seeing it. You know, the amount of stuff that you post on your channel anyway. I mean, the amount of stuff that we're seeing, it's daily. It's almost hourly getting. So something's building. Do you feel that? Do you feel something massive is we're building towards, let's say, biblical?
Yeah.
You know?
Like one, my friend, I don't know if you want me to make this public, but no, you know who she is. You know who she is, but I don't know if she want to make it public, so I ain't gonna say her name. But she told me she was in her car one day and she felt this amount of love coming from the sky, this overwhelming amount of love coming from the sky. And she just stood there and she told them thank you, because it was just overwhelming. Now, what Elena been saying is the Federation been pumping these high frequencies to the planet. Now, when I was looking at one of her lives, she was explaining that the people who've been having their ears ringing is coming from that high frequency. And that high frequency was being pumped also to stop those damn squid things, which is this Nebu Orion technology. Right. And this is another thing where Corey fails. When we had the fucking Facebook outage, which was all 75% of social media around the world, and other whatever the accounting, I don't know what the accounting is, but Elena was the one that told us what was really going on. Right. You know. Then when these scientists, like that woman on Stu Peters that saw those things get off the damn Petri dish, and she put those pictures out, we still waiting on the video. Well, then scientists in France find these fucking squid things that look totally different from the one she was talking about. Elena said that's Nebu alien technology. And when I was on my round table, I was sitting there with my group, my team, we were sitting there looking at these pictures and stuff. Because on Telegram, and I need to tell people about this, Telegram was created by the Alliance people. And ain't no fucking censorship up there. All you gotta deal with is the Archons. Yeah. That's the only problem. It's the Archons.
And they're fucking enough, to be honest.
No shadow banning, no censorship, no fact checkers. I could do my round tables, and I got this new format where, I mean, I can do round table now. I can do that on Facebook. People come in and talk. People come in and talk to get on video. You know, it needs some improvement, but the Alliance created this, so people just need to get up there, use it, and tell the Alliance, hey, prove this, so we can don't hit to use AI Archon infested Facebook.
Yeah. Did you see the? You know, I mean, you know as well as I do, and to be fair, you did post something recently. I think it was on your channel as well, that you know you've got to try at least 3 different sources if possible, right? It's fine getting, you know, a video and it's worth a talk, you know, it's worth a theory, it's worth, you know, talking about it. It doesn't mean it's factual or whatever. But there's one thing I did see. Somebody analysed what was it either snowfall or hailstones or something, and they analysed it under a microscope, and it looked like those squid things. So I'm going to throw something at you.
I think I shared that in my group on Telegram, or I think I
It might have been your group. On Facebook. Yeah, it might have been your group. Now, I mean, to be fair, you don't know what, you know, you look at something under that microscope, fucking hell, you know, Christ, I wouldn't like to look at me under a microscope, because God knows what was fucking crawling over me, right? But do you remember Watchmen, when they did the was it HBO, or they did the series, right? So you had the Watchmen film by Zack Snyder, right? And then they done the 6-part TV series. The bad guy who was the Watchman, who was on the different planet, what was it that he hit the Earth way to make Dr. Manhattan look as if he had blown up the world or part of New York? It was Squid.
What, predictive programming, where they're trying to mess with our intent to try to drive us on the negative timeline? Yeah, I know
what it's like.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've been trying to do is I'm going back over old, you know, movies, because we know, you know, and to be fair, David Wilcock was one of the ones that, you know, said about this, is that, you know, a lot of people go, but, you know, why are these, you know, Hollywood folk, everything that they do, well, why do they never seem to get bad karma? Well, it's because they tell you what they're doing through TV or movies, right? So I was like, well, let's go back, say 10 years and go and look at movies. I mean, remember last year when you know, lockdown started, folk were starting to reference Contagion. There was, I think it was a Japanese show about the you know, about the virus and all the rest of it. I was like, well, sci-fi, let's go back. So I've been going back over old ones like Jupiter Ascending is about a royal elite family that harvests human beings.
Yep, that's all. I think what's happening with the movie, the timeline might have shifted, and all the movies got all the clues that the Alliance been dropping like breadcrumbs. Like they talk about the breadcrumbs in the queue.
Yeah.
So I think they were dropping breadcrumbs, because I watched Starship Troopers 3, and it was
I think the good guys have got to do that as well. Yeah, that's a good show.
They was talking about the Q bomb on Starship Troopers 3, and they used the Q bomb to blow up the bug planets. It was called the Q bomb, and it said, I think it had boom or something on it.
Right.
I was like, what, the Q bomb? That's why I think there's breadcrumbs from the Alliance. It's all in the movies, because the Illuminati, which is the connect to the Nebu Orion group, they've been messing with our consciousness to push us, to help push humanity on this negative timeline, which is this inorganic ascension timeline.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you in that, and I track some movies, right? Jupiter Ascending was one, and it never done well at the box office, but I believe it wasn't a big studio thing. So you're like, well, is that good guy? You know, because if the bad guys are doing it, you've got to admit the good guys must be doing something. I think the Tomorrow War, you know, the Prime Video one with Chris Pratt in it, I think that was a good guy disclosure movie. You know, so
right.
I think you can always look, the ones that the critics hit hard as if being poor, you can almost say, well, they're doing that for a reason, because there's maybe lots of truth that they're trying. The guy, Neil Blomkamp, is a South African director, and look at his stuff for Oat Studio. Everything he deals with is reptilians, black goo, and the way he talked, you know, Chappie, District 9, Elysium, and now he's got Oat Studios, where reptilians have taken over the world, and they use black goo to get into people's brains.
Oh my God. When me and my friend Scott interviewed Johan, he described the black goo. He was telling that the black goo is being given to officers in the Dark Fleet.
Right.
That Corey don't know shit about. Corey don't know shit about the Dark Fleet because he was in Solar War. Yeah. This is the arrogance that he's in. Either he's compromised by the AI or that's his own ego. And Johan had a problem with Elena was talking about the Earth was created by the Federation, because that's the only problem he had. But he's not out there attacking Elena. Yeah. And even Elena, the one that talked about the ICC, did an interview with Elena. James Green ain't attacking Elena. Penny Bradley ain't attacking Elena.
Yeah.
Why is Corey the only one attacking Elena? Yeah. And Megan, he's only attacking Elena. I ain't seen him attack Alex Collier.
No.
Why is he only focused on what's the common denominator between Megan and Elena? They are both representatives of the Galactic Federation. No one else is.
Yeah.
They're the only two.
Yeah,
and they can't say is that she's they try to create a cult because it's two of them.
Yeah,
it ain't just one. It ain't like it's Corey or not. It's tossing Corey out, but it's the same thing. Corey is stuck in his ego. He's compromised by the AI, that he's not understanding that their compartmentalization, that it was stuff that he wasn't told because he wasn't even in the military part of Solar Wharton. He was in the mechanic part of Solar Wharton.
Yeah. I mean, that's how all these things work, even the dark side as well. You know, folk go, how could they execute this plan with so many? Well, compartmentalization is how things work. Not everybody has got the full picture, but that works in the benevolent side too.
William Thompson told us about this. Corey is even, I mean, come on, Corey does not make any sense. If William Thompson in both his books talk about these Nordic secretaries, that is to this Pleiadian, that he said Nordic Navy, then they start calling it Pleiadian because they didn't know what the Pleiadian word was, because we've been imprisoned on Earth, so we don't got that perspective to know what their real names are. So with Elena come along, we know what their real names are, not what we call them because we got Greek or Latin names for the star system. We got the real names, you know? So if there's a Pleiadian Navy and we find out there's a Galactic Federation, there is no Pleiadian Navy. The Pleiadian Navy is the Galactic Federation.
Yeah.
And then when you got Val Thor, another thing, American Horror Story. Why is American Horror Story, when the only time they talk about Val Thor is they try to slander him?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I've seen that. And I felt for Laura Eisenhower. That was shit. It was poor.
Laura's my friend. I'm very protective over her.
No, I'd be quite right.
I was pissed.
That was horrible. And to be fair to Elena, she went on, she made a video. She was quite...
Elena was pissed. It's real. Yeah. This is real. Elena probably every night, Elena, because she said on one of her live, she probably going up there, you know.
Yeah.
Like, this is what Corey don't understand, because I guess he not thinking some people ain't got discernment. Well, he should know that I got discernment. I got a lot of discernment. I've been doing this for 4 years, going on 5 probably.
Yeah.
You know, you are sitting here only talking about doom and gloom. What is doom and gloom? Low vibration. Yeah. What people said? I mean, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I put a chart on my Facebook that basically called the map of conscience, but somebody expanded it to have all this stuff in here, and I call it the battle plan in the conscious war. That's what I call it, because I use it in my group when I do my roundtables all the time. And Corey need to look at that, because he's in doom and gloom.
Yeah.
He's saying the alliance failed. That makes no fucking sense. Why is Trump running his mouth, influencing people, gaining support, people having hope and love in him? How is that good for the cabal? That makes no sense.
No.
You're not making any fucking sense, Corey. You need to get, if you're not compromised AI, you need to come back to your star family. Like what we all thought
he needs to come back
at ESETI.
Where he was, yeah. And you know, if you want to see how people are, you know, in that kind of loving sense and all the rest of it, you just need to look at Let's Go Brandon. It's a worldwide phenomenon now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if people had this doom and gloom, they wouldn't be doing that. No, and don't get me wrong. There's a lot of heartache. There's still a fucking battle to be won. There's still all that, you know, fucking shite. Nobody's saying that, you know, it's that kind of love and light kind of thing. But to me, that love and light means, well, if you've got a lot of love, you want to shine your light, you fucking look straight into the darkness and you shine it. You uncover all that shit. You literally look into it and you bring it into the light. Nobody said this was going to be easy. You know, World War III, they all promoted as a nuclear war, but it's psychological. It's for your fucking, it's for the very soul, or not just you and I or everybody on the planet, but for the planet's soul. But when you see people, you know, even when I'm at work, that you're seeing people just going about their business now. The way the media portrays everything now, and you actually out there in the world, I know there's still people in mass. I get all that, right? But there's more people just going, fuck it. We've done everything that you asked us to do. You lied to us. Now you want us to take a third one? and you're saying to go on holiday next year to a fucking fourth one? No, we fucking had it.
No, because what people realize is they trying to kill us. They're trying to kill us because a lot of people, even some of these people who wearing the mask who lost their will, they want to meet the ETs. It's just a constant shift happening. The Schumann resonance is going up. It's spiking all over the place. That means your higher self is starting to occupy your physical body more as it spike higher and higher and higher. You know, that frequency of spiking going up higher and higher. Your higher self is coming. It's changed, like Alice Carrier said, it's changing your DNA. It's causing your DNA to expand to hold more light.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to our DNA, which means some people about to have the DNA strands.
Yeah.
And the DNA strands connects to zodiac signs. It connects to other dimensions, timelines. I mean, we still trying to understand it because we don't got no signs of temporal mechanics because that's all in the SSP. It's not available to us slaves until we get free. So that's what disclosure is. Disclosure equals our freedom because we're gonna have all this free energy technology coming out and we're gonna start meeting our galactic family that is connected through our blood types. That's our connection to our galactic family, our bloodline.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be far. It can't be far away now. We've had a hell of a time tonight, mate, and thanks for keep going. You know, you've kept me going as well. I'd just like to finish up. What do you do for when you're downtime? What do you do for, let's say, fun? You know, because it's important to take a break from it.
Oh yeah. Well, I sit there training my martial arts with sword fighting and my martial arts. I study physics, like I watch physics lectures or something. From because I didn't go to college. I dropped out in 10th grade, and I taught myself basically since then. So
and you're all the better for it because you don't have that indoctrination, huh?
Yeah. That shit wouldn't have worked on me because I would have been, when they were saying, oh, you can't go fast and light, I would have been on the board erasing what the professor put. And I said, let me flip this equation around. You sitting there putting this equation, make it go infinite, but I can sit there and make it go the other way. And then we can get, also, one thing I got to say about that before we go, special relativity is bullshit because it's saying, like when they say, when you go fast as light, your mass increase infinitely. Well, that violates energy conservation. The first principle of thermodynamics is energy conservation. You can't create matter, energy out of nowhere. Well, where is that infinite energy coming from? It's coming from nowhere. That's a whole contradiction in basic principles in physics. Why are people believing in this horse shit?
I love how you school us. I really do. I mean, to me, it's the way you can just, you know, you're none written down. It's just, it's your knowledge. It's a self-taught.
Yeah.
A lot of this is straight over me, but just to see the way you talk about it is phenomenal.
It's bullshit. It's just bullshit. I already seen some scientists that they call friend scientists already solving how to go into hyperspace, how to go faster than light, even in space, go faster than light by making the vibration of the material speed up, which makes sense because you're going in a higher. So I already seen that. That's bullshit. Special activity is Draco bullshit. Like William Thompson said, the Western education system was controlled by the Draconians.
Yeah.
So, boom, it's all bullshit. They limit us. Speed of light is not a limit.
Yeah.
We've been lied to. We've been lied to about a lot of things.
A lot of things.
You know,
a lot of
if y'all want to find out, check out my roundtable on Telegram.
Yep.
Because we break it down.
Yeah.
Me and my team.
So, give your stuff a shout out. So, you're really more on Telegram now. Give a shout out to your Telegram channel. It's the Consciousness War.
Yeah, the Consciousness War.
Consciousness War. So you can find Jermaine. Roundtables are daily, I would say. Daily roundtables. Maybe not just 1, 2, 3.
Well, the roundtables I be doing, like when I do a roundtable, because I basically merge my lives into the roundtable.
Yeah.
So usually when I be going like 4 hours, well, I got everybody else in there talking too. But sometimes we'll have from the first one, we'll have an after talk with people that start talking. Then I might record that. Well, usually now I just record it because we still figuring shit out. So it'd be like 4 hours and 5, 6, sometimes 8. And one time I did a marathon for like, I think 10, 11 hours on Telegram. And I had to keep recording the parts. I think I got all that on Facebook, but I'm being shadow banned so much by the Archons on Facebook. You ain't even gonna see my notification when I go live. That's why I don't do lives on Facebook no more. And even you get a notification, you probably get notification later, even if you see it. Because if you come on my wall, you'll see it, but you ain't gonna get no notification. I go live or make posts.
It's funny you said that. I'm just remembering we did do a kind of live once. There was about 6 of us on, and you caught me off guard because it was quite late for you. It was early for me, and I was making toast and coffee, and you're going, "Motherfucker, what are you doing? Making toast? Fucking 6 o'clock in the morning here." What the fuck do you think I'm doing?
that probably was a time when I was possessed by it. I think it was an Archon that tried to possess me.
Right. So do you want to quickly talk about that? You're one of the most honest people I've met. Now, I know when you speak, you're not asking anybody to accept what you're saying. You're wanting that respect to say, well,
I want people to research it because I researched this shit.
Yeah,
it's real. I had an experience at East City where I saw ships manifest in front of me, where the damn thing was solid and it was reflecting the background of East City. I had ET experience. I saw a beam there that turned into a ruby red light and vanished.
Wow.
I saw a ship teleport down on James Ranch.
Yeah,
I had a whole ET experience. I had these energy balls coming around me. So look, I know this is real. That's why I'm even more after East City. I got more passionate about fighting.
You did. I've seen your videos. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But you did say, was it the turn of the year? Yeah, and you're one of the most honest guys, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This possession.
And you did admit that you almost slipped.
Yeah,
the dark side.
They almost got me. I almost became Anakin.
Oh fuck, Jesus!
Right.
Fuck. That's all we need.
Right. But I do got the potential and will to become Anakin. But I could have became the bad Anakin. But so you know,
fuck you never.
Right. Yeah, I was Lord. It was some personal problem, and I was humiliated. And when I tell people about the chart, because I got it on my wall on Facebook, I was basically humiliated, and I was in that humiliation frequency. So they had to lower my frequency almost to death to get inside me.
Yeah, I was going to say, it must have been heavy for you.
Yeah. So like when that shit was happening, like my voice had a computer sound to it, like it was squeaky and stuff. So I knew it was a fucking Archon.
Wow.
You know. So it was an Archon possession, and
Jesus.
And it had me attacking everybody that I never did before. I never attacked nobody. I was worrying about vanity and popularity. I don't care about that stuff.
No.
So what I discovered with that experience, I gained wisdom from that experience.
Yeah.
Because I found out that darkness in me. I got this narcissistic side that can become Hitler. Like everybody got a dark side, but people don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about it though.
No, they don't.
It's disgusting. I was embarrassed by that side coming out of me. I really acted out. Yeah. And that's ain't me. That wasn't me. And people still thinking, and I lost like 200 people that turned on me and stuff.
Right.
Because of that. So yes, I almost fell to the dark side. They almost got me because I was in a low vibration. Yeah. And after I got out of that, I told people they're gonna be coming from all of us. And they are. Yeah. Because some of these people in fear now, they're so in fear, they're insane or possessed.
To me, this is the zombie apocalypse the foretold. Right. It wasn't about eating brains, but it was, that kind of insane. Yeah. Oh, you don't have a mask on, you don't have this. Fucking,
Or they possessed. Like when they getting all enraged and triggered, they probably be possessed by entities that's coming in because their vibration is too low that they can get in.
And thanks for being so honest about that. And I'll make an admission as well. I mean, third density life's fucking tough. Yeah. There's not you got to be on point. And I think what you've said, even in downtime, I mean, I like what I do. I'm about to start a new job, and I like what I do. I enjoy the kind of left brain type analysis of that. But when I'm not there, I love as high a vibration as I can. It's almost like an art, so to speak. But yeah, you're not just going to stop being triggered. But you've got coping mechanisms. And once you are more conscious, you know how to deal with these things.
Yeah, that's when the shadow work come in. Because one thing with my light work is like like my friend Siobhan, but like me and her not talking now because it's just, but she's popular in the Scourge community.
Yeah.
I mean, so she's really popular. So so me and her not talking because she's not dealing with the shadow work. And that's the important part, because with the shadow work, which I knew about this narcissistic side of me since I was 15. So I already knew this. Because if I didn't know that, or didn't do the shadow work to know the sides of me that is disgusting and embarrassing and that I try to keep away from people, I wouldn't, when the damn entity came in there, I wouldn't recognize what was happening, what it was doing to me.
Yeah.
So I said I learned wisdom from that. Yes.
Yeah.
So if it tried again, I could catch it.
Yeah. And you're better prepared. But it's people need to find their precipice. And my kind of story, I lost my business last year. I didn't work for a year. I lost my gran and all the rest of it. And I could have just let it all consume me, but I sat with it, I dealt with it, I worked through it, and I could say I've grown more consciousness because of it, or consciously because of it. But if it happened again, I'm better prepared this time. So you've still got to go through that dark shit, to get to this place, so you can spot what's coming. Will we get to a place where, it's not as heavy? Yes, I think that could be part of that kind of fourth density, that fifth dimension, whatever you want to call it.
5D. The light workers be saying 5D is heaven. That's what supposed to be a conscious state. And
I think we've definitely, to quote Alara's channel, we've definitely got 1 foot in it, but we've still got 1 foot in the old world as well. We're literally we're living in two vibrations, but this one, the good one, is getting, like you say, the testimonies coming through for Elena and Megan is that we're getting, they're hitting us with these vibrations, and it's difficult at times. It's not
the Federation, the Federation plant, and this is in I think it's in Elena's first book. They've been, and I read this, but it could have been on different timeline. I read this in the past, but like I said, it could be on different timeline. That they was saying that they was trying to get Earth into 5D. But in Lena book, they talk about the Federation has been messing with the Schumann resonance deliberately to try to get Earth into 5D as fast as possible. That's why it started. That's why it's been spiking and accelerating. This is a Federation effort.
Because these dark entities can't handle that.
They won't know what they. It's actually military, because the Galactic Federation is the military arm of the Milky Way galaxy. So what they're doing is they're trying to put Earth into another dimension for the 4D beings. They can't get there. They can't get to that frequency. So it's basically put them into friendly territory. Now with CERN, this is what happened with CERN. CERN was trying to cut Earth off from source, and it was trying to which would stop the ascension in its tracks. And they were trying to bring in reinforcements, like pour them in. So CERN, was a desperate attempt to stop the ascension. So it's always with these Archons, they're trying to stop the ascension because they need to feed off of us, because they low vibrational. Some of us are starseeds, some of us got trapped on Earth. I got trapped here. I don't think I can see because Alex Carter, he got trapped here too. So but whatever, they got the term starseed. I don't know what to call me, but I was trapped here. Supposed to been in the Orion Wars 20 million years ago, and I got trapped on Earth for 100,000 years.
So you just keep recycling that.
So I'm tired of being here. That's why I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if people don't understand. Well, because like the stuff like with my East SETI experience and how I be breaking stuff down and I researched this stuff, people can look, if they are not afraid of the truth, they don't got courage because curiosity leads to courage. So if they ain't got courage, they're not gonna sit there and understand this is real. They're gonna stay in this low vibration and be mistrusting, think it's evil and stuff. Because that's when you in fear. That's what religion keeps you in fear and keep you at a low conscious state and a conscious trap. But you can't expand your consciousness fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And that's from the Orion group. The Orion group is responsible for all religion, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all satanic. It's time to let out the bad people. They're trying to kill us. We about to become members of the Galactic Federation. Let's let it all out.
They're trying to kill us. Let it
Religion
out,
is
man.
a trap of your consciousness. It's time to become spiritual adults.
Yeah. And it's, I'm with you all the way. Jermaine, thank you so much for doing this, mate. It's been an absolute, it's been a fight tonight. But
yeah,
this last
we fight.
part, no, thank you very much. No, it's no, I'm glad we've kept at it because this last part seems to have. I think we've maybe
we fought through.
Pushed them back. So I'm glad to be part of that. But thank you so much. Mate, thank you so much. I'll get this uploaded for next week. I'll get it edited. I'll give you a shout. I'll see you in your channel again. So much love, respect. Thank you so much for our friendship. Great deal to me. And catch you on the other side. Thank you so much.
See you,
bud. Thanks. Bye-bye.
See y'all.
Bye-bye. Bye.